Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Living Astrology with Janet Hickox. Grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back, and let's chat about what is happening up in the stars above for today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have a lot to talk about. So let's dive in, shall we? I hope you're all having a great day so far. The moon in Aries is certainly adding some energy to the atmosphere, if you will, getting us a bit revved up and ready to move on. Now that Mars is direct and we have Mars, the ruler of Aries, we might be feeling a little bit more energetic, like we have things to do, places to go, people to see, and autographs to sign. Well, maybe not autographs, but indeed we are feeling a little bit revved up. We have awakened somewhat to see what our desires are. We did that through the retrograde period of time, remember, as we were reimagining our lives or taking a look at where we are versus where we wanted to go. And we're finally able to take those first steps forward. And in doing that, with the moon, our emotional selves in the sign of Aries, Mars as its ruler now in forward motion, we need to watch out for today in being too reactionary versus responding to what is showing up in our world. And that is sometimes easy to say and so difficult to do, especially when you're presented with somebody's anger in front of you, or something on social media that triggers you, or something you hear in the news that triggers you. There's so many different things out there right now that can, rise up and kind of bite us or trigger us. So we have, I'm sure, ample opportunities to be able to learn to respond and work with the energy of response versus the energy of reaction. And especially while this is happening, let's see, I wanted to check for most of the day tomorrow even, which is Thanksgiving Day here in the US, the moon will still be in the sign of Aries, and indeed will be on top of that squaring, challenging Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, who are finishing up their transits through the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn and Aries make a 90-degree angle to one another, thus laying down the gauntlet for us to really learn how to be in our truth, but not trample on other people's truths. Yikes, right? Hard one to do. Today as well, besides the moon in Aries, it is going to be in a conjunction to Mars. And gosh, you know what? I meant to do this. It has been a rainy, beastie kind of several weeks here in the Pacific Northwest. And finally, last night at about 10 o'clock, I walked outside because I wanted to see the sky. And the only thing I could see in the sky was the moon and Mars, very close together, like a finger length away from one another. And I meant to take a picture of that in my star map app so that I could show it to all of you, because it was really spectacular, considering I couldn't see another star in the sky. The only slice of the sky that had an opening was the moon in its about 3/4 phase. And of course, the planet Mars twinkling right there next to it, kind of like, winking at me. It was awesome. So we have these two planets in a conjunction today. If we could see the moon right now, they would be even closer to where they were when I last saw them in the evening last night. So a conjunction to Mars means that our emotional selves are even a little more volatile than normal, and we may feel more confrontational. And if it's not you that's feeling that way, other people may be, and conflicts or confrontation can rise up to the surface. So our best antidote then is to stay in our hearts, to keep compassion and empathy for whoever it is that might be showing us their anger or their upset. And remember that in the end, laughter is the best medicine. Too bad Tom's not here to laugh at us. So today as well, we have a minor challenge going on with Chiron from Mercury and Venus, both two of the inner planets, the one that rules our conversational selves, our Mercury, our communicator, and also our mind, and Venus, our relationships. So we may be triggered by something that creates a field of insecurity for us. Maybe we are insecure about sharing something, an idea, or sharing something from the heart, a desire, a dream, right? So we may feel a little insecure about that. As well, the flow of words may just not be there. They may tumble out in fits and starts. They may tumble out but not be the right words. So it might feel a little awkward today when you're trying to describe who you are, what you want to do, what your beliefs are, or what it is that you see as the most important thing for your life. So today, if you're feeling awkward about that, it's minor, it's not major. So it's not like anything you say has major repercussions for your life. It is just a short-term sort of irritation by both Mercury and Venus. Later in the afternoon, the energy shifts and you will be back to being able to say what you mean in a powerfully positive way. By the way, this morning, Asa sends off love and light to all of us. She is at home having to do some work with her computer and won't be able to join us. So if you have questions, you're stuck with me today. So that might mean I miss some things. If I do, I apologize ahead of time. I'm not used to going back and monitoring the questions. So be kind. State it again if it's really important and I missed it, please say it again. Today, the most important news, of course, is the beginning of the spiral of consciousness, the new week in our Pleiadian energy. We are now at 1 intuiting energy. So 1 is the universal energy, and that is no matter what our life form is, no matter what planet we might be on. Sometimes I wonder what planet I'm on. We would be affected by the energy of 1, which is an initiating energy. It's an initiation, a new beginning, a pulse outward from the spiral of consciousness, and taking us into a new 13-day round of evolution, right? So we're moving from the bottom of the spiral up, and we are doing that with an opportunity perhaps to begin a new project, to initiate a new direction. And it is very powerful when we are staying tuned in to what source is showing us, what is source bringing to us, what is the direction of expansion outward that has appeared in your life. And sometimes we have to step back a bit because sometimes the direction that's appearing for us to take motion forward in toward is not the direction that we think we want to go. Right? Sometimes that happens. And when that happens, we can be very tempted to override what the universal consciousness is bringing to us. So be watchful for an expansion outward in some maybe new direction, or an opening, maybe a door opening that you thought had closed. And now it seems to be back up in as if it's the right timing now, or the right opportunity in the right moment with the right people in the right timing. And that's a possibility here that will bear out over these next 13 days. Now, intuiting energy in the Mayan calendar was Kib. It is a highly expanded, sensitive sign. And that means sensitive to the environment, sensitive to the spoken word, to the unspoken word, to the tone behind the words, to what people do. Right? You may be interpreting it through an emotional haze. You might be sensitive, super hypersensitive to what is happening in the world and your awareness of it. And this day can bring up challenges, tests, experiences that can be painful. Why would that happen? Let me think about that, so that you can return back to your heart. Right, so you can find where you're out of balance there, letting go, releasing, bringing compassion and empathy to whatever the situation is, and releasing it through this next 13-day period of time. I call this a CPP day, a choice point presented kind of day where we get to choose, along with the moon being in Aries and maybe triggers to our emotional sensitivities, how we're going to act. Are we going to be in reactive energy? Are we going to react with volatility or with depression or with disappointment? Or are we going to follow our inner guidance to be in the right place at the right time with the right people, being in the flow of life and not attempting to swim backwards with the current pulling you downward, without forcing and without pushing? Here is our grand opportunity then for this 13-day period of time, but especially today. Today starts this role of listening to the voice of spirit. It's interesting, isn't it, that the last 13-day period began with one listening, cueing us into where silence is and how through deep listening we can really intuit the next steps for ourselves. And then here we are at the next new 13-day week, and we're at one intuiting. And intuiting energy, same thing, bringing us trust in a higher power, where we are being asked to listen to our heart as the source of our inner authority, listening to the voice of spirit. So it's an interesting setup for the next 13 days, powerful. Hopefully everyone yesterday had some time to really go into the quiet space to take a deeper look at maybe what it is that was opening up for you. Even getting closure on what had been for the previous 13 days. I'm going to head over here, say good morning to everybody. Hello, J-Lo. Looks like I'm frozen. Hello. Ursula, hello. And Mimi, good morning. Valerie Jocelyn, good to see you. Augustina, good morning to you. Irene Alberg, good morning. She says good evening, excuse me, from Sweden. Nice to see you with us this morning, Irene. This morning, my time, this evening, your time. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a time travel, right? Isn't it amazing that we're time traveling? Right now, I am in my own time zone, but I am broadcasting. My voice is being broadcast in a different time zone. Sometimes that just tweaks me out because it's like time isn't really time. Because how can it be time when you can hear my voice and it's 8 hours ahead of me? It's weird. I should get out of my head before I go there. But thank you for joining us, Irene. It's good to see you. And Kathleen Mallory, good morning. Happy long weekend. I know I am literally just vibrating with excitement because I need a break. I realize that I need a break. I keep track of my broadcasts because in the morning when I'm done with you, I take this and I put it up on Blog Talk so that it is now being broadcast as a podcast later in the day. And I am now on episode 105, right? Just from probably about June, because I think in June I took the break. I went away for a week. And when I came back, I started the 5th season. So my 5th season is now 105 days into it, 105 broadcasts, not just days. So when I think about that, I'm like, yeah, I need a break. Usually I go to about 80 or 90 and then I take a break. Here's my break, at least 4 days worth of taking a break. And I'm just about thrilled. Now, that doesn't mean I won't be doing work behind the scenes. It just means I won't be coming on this in the morning. Tammy Smith, it's good to see you out there. She says, good morning, my day off. I finally made it to a live show. I love it, Tammy. It's great to have you with us. Good morning, Debbie Tibbetts-Tumiel. I hope everything's going well in Florida. Christine Buckingham, good morning. And she says, good morning to me and to everyone else. And Ursula says, yes, give yourself rest and relaxation. Yeah. You know, it's kind of nice that we've already done our family Thanksgiving. So tomorrow I don't have to make a big dinner. I don't have to be anywhere or go anywhere. I can just be here at home and just enjoying the day. I have my next diamond painting all laid out and ready to be made. It happens to be a depiction of a Thomas Kincaid painting. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I absolutely love Thomas Kincaid paintings. The whole idea of light, and every painting has this light and this beauty that sort of shines out from inside of the painting, if you will. And I'm hoping that my diamond painting is going to turn out with that level of light. So I get to start a new one. I have not done that in several weeks. So it'll be exciting for me. Okay, so that is our Friday or Wednesday. It's not Friday, it's Wednesday. Feels like a Friday. So now let's move into Thanksgiving and what some of the energies will be that we are presented with tomorrow, because maybe for some of you, you are having family gatherings or you are doing a dinner of sorts, maybe entertaining small numbers of people. We're going to be very careful here in how we word this, because I'm certainly not advocating that you go out and do big things, but hey, I'm not the monitor here. Moon tomorrow will be in Aries for a good chunk of the day, literally until 3:46 p.m. my time, when it moves into the void, and then it doesn't even change signs until 7:43 p.m. So evening tomorrow will move out of Aries and into Taurus energy, but for about 4 hours, right across the dinner hours, the moon will be in the void, sort of wandering around. And actually, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It might make for some calmer energy, because earlier in the day, the moon will come into the square with Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn, from Aries to Capricorn. Now, while that energy is good for plans and making goals and ambitions and moving onward with something, maybe something new and exciting that's come up from today's energy, we may feel kind of pulled in a different direction. We may have duties and responsibilities that call on us, that create a tension in that early part of the day. For example, if you're the cook and you have a lot of work in the kitchen to be done, then you may feel kind of pulled in two between the energy of having to do something that's preparing a dinner, for example, but also the wanting to speak with people and, engage socially. So there can be that pull. There can be the pull of, hey, it's a national holiday, and we have this thing called coronavirus, and now I don't get to have this big, 20-person, 30-person Thanksgiving dinner that I wanted to have. So some things may be coming home to roost tomorrow, and it can be a difficult day, but it doesn't have to be. Remember, this is a day, this is an energy about remembering that you're in control here. And the only free will you really have is about how you're going to react or respond to the energies that are presented to you during the day tomorrow. All of this gets a little bit easier tomorrow evening when the moon moves into Taurus. And Taurus and the moon take us more into the sensual, take us more into the homey atmosphere, the stability of home and family, traditions, although there may be a moment where we feel like, this year's traditions are set upon the shelf, as we're dealing with a different sort of energy this particular season. And as well, tomorrow the sun will come into a trine with Chiron. Now, the sun is the full force of our ego energies, our personalities, how we express ourselves, how we identify with who we are and what we do. And Chiron, of course, operates on the wound, creating healing pathways. But depending on how old you are, if you're before 50 years old, you're likely still working through the wound itself. If you're older than 50, then you are being presented perhaps with other people in your life who are suffering from the same kind of wound, and you find yourself in the role of healer. No matter which age you are or what cycle you're in here, this is all about healing our ego energies. So we're inclined now, tomorrow, to go through the healing process by releasing our wounds, right? To heal the wound, releasing our attachment to that story that holds us in that pain or in that wound. Maybe it offers up an opportunity for us to solve problems in a more holistic way. Remember, Chiron in mythology, he was a healer, but he was a holistic healer, right? He wasn't just healing the physical body by, injecting drugs or doing stuff like we do now in our medical system, right? Throwing out a bunch of things at a symptom. He was more holistic, and he went through all the different levels, using alternative methods of healing. So this is our opportunity to solve our problems then in a more holistic way, rather than in the way that we have always done it. So maybe typical family gatherings are places of constant arguments or anxiety for you. And now maybe you have this opportunity to greet this in a whole new way. So developing Then a healthy respect for yourself and for others, right? Respect for self and others. Tomorrow's Pleiadian energy is 2 evolving. So 2, of course, is the 1 split into 2, right? So now we have this different viewpoint that shows up, that duality that shows up, splitting our reality into, or dividing us, or polarizing us in some way. And at least at this moment, we are not really adept at learning what to do with a duality, right? To what to do in the face of someone who is completely faced in a different direction from you, whose ideas are completely 180 degrees away from you. And so tomorrow offers us that opportunity to be able to respect ourselves, our opinions, and our ideas, but also to stay in the heart and also accept that other people have their own ideas and their own opinions. That doesn't make him or her wrong and you right, and it doesn't make you wrong and him or her right. Correct, right? Remember everything. There's so many truths out here that we don't have to devolve into a polarized, divisive sort of experience. So stay aware, stay in respect, stay in love, compassion, and you'll make it through the day just fine. The earth energy of the day tomorrow is evolving energy, though. That is earthquake in Mayan, the Kaban day. And that's usually a day of something transformational occurring. Maybe it's a transformation from division to unity. Yay. Who knows, right? It can be earth shattering. It can be kind of groundbreaking day. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's groundbreaking events like earthquakes, but that could be a possibility. But maybe it breaks our hearts open wide in some way. So we may be tested a bit in the energies for tomorrow. And of course, that always happens when we have those mirrors in front of us, right? And who are our best mirrors? Well, that's our spouses, our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, our fathers, our children, the people that we love, our best friends, our dearest and closest. They are the mirrors. And what are you seeing in the mirror? What does it mean for you? Okay. And then choosing to be response-able, not to get into reactionary energy. I was thinking about this morning as I was writing up what I was going to talk about for the day, because I thought about emotional energy and how powerful it is. And I feel it. I'm an emotionally defined person, and 50% of you out there listening are emotionally defined. You cannot help but start the process of reaction because of your emotional broadcast, right? You're broadcasting emotional energy. So when you're triggered, right, what happens is a chain reaction begins to occur within the cells of your body that are creating the hormones or the chemicals that are going to create the emotional reaction. And it happens almost like that, right? A trigger can start that emotional chain reaction. The gift is that you recognize the emotion. You can recognize that there's about to be an explosion of joy, an explosion of upset or anger. You recognize it. It's there. You see it. You feel it. Then stop yourself at that point, right? That awareness is what we're needing, right? Right now, the energy in the solar plexus, which rules our emotions, is a motor. And it has this peak and this valley and this peak and this valley. And we're very tempted to play into the emotional energy. The change that comes to us over these next 7 years is that we change that center from a motor to an awareness center, where we become aware of what we're feeling, not reactive, but aware of what we're feeling and what is it telling me, right? Using it as an awareness, like we use the mind now as an awareness, awareness, not decision making. And the solar plexus becoming an awareness center shifts our ability to tune in to the emotional energy, to be able to use that energy as the barometer for what direction we need to head in, or where our thinking is off, or where we're not in sync with our hearts. So it'll be a big change. So we might as well practice now. We might as well start practicing in the emotional field, trying to gauge with awareness what is happening, what got triggered, before you spew about what it is that you got triggered about. And I'm not saying that, we're going to get this right away, because it's a process that we're undergoing to be able to learn how to use emotions correctly. And that process may have that pendulum swing where we become feeling a little detached or emotionless, and then coming back to emotional, right? So we're going back and forth thinking, are we insane? Am I bipolar? Am I depressed? Am I joyful? What is it? And in the middle ground is where we'll find the juicy part of this, where we're really learning about that awareness. So if you feel a bit like a pendulum rocking back and forth, or a branch swaying with the wind, that's totally normal for where we are right now. Some days you're going to fail miserably at that emotional reactivity. Some days you are going to sing because you absolutely became aware of the emotion before you reacted. You were responsible as opposed to reactive. So it's a process, people. Just go with that flow as we learn and merge through some of these more crazy energies, right? For the time being. And some days it's going to be triggered, and other days it won't be triggered at all. But that timing is kind of up to your own personal chart and how all of that looks as time goes on. Now, for you that are emotionally open, this should be coming to you as good news, great news. Why? Because you're taking in all the emotion that's being broadcast from the defined emotional centers. You amplify that energy, and you become overly emotional or overly placating, overly willing to live someone else's truth and not your own. So for you, this comes as great news too, because you won't be amplifying as high of a high or as low of a low. So good news for everybody, whatever your definition is, right? So we have that to look forward to over time. All right, Friday, Black Friday. I don't know why they call it Black Friday, but Friday is the moon in Taurus. Now, that day provides us some challenges as well, because the moon in Taurus moves right into our fellow friend Uranus, into a conjunction, and into an opposition with Venus. So let's break that down a bit. Moon in Taurus rules money, how we spend our money, what we spend our money on. It rules our values. It rules stability, the foundations of our lives financially. Are we stable? Do we feel good? Do we have enough money? Is there an income? Are we feeling pressured to spend money? Of course we are. It's Black Friday, right? So we have to watch out starting on Friday with the moon in Taurus that we don't overspend, especially because it comes with that attachment to Uranus, where surprises, right? So you spend the $1,000 on Black Friday for Christmas, and then your car breaks down the next day, right? So we have to watch what we're doing here. Retail therapy. I know that sounds so good, right? I just feel like sometimes I just want to go to a mall. I just want to go back to those days when if I needed to go to the store, I could do that without, having to wear a mask, without having to worry about, is there too many people in the store? That was crazy, having that experience when we were down in Oregon last weekend, 2 weekends ago now. And, standing in line to get into a store. I mean, come on. The reality is so weird, right? So retail therapy, I mean, right now I could go on to Amazon or anything and I could just start clicking. But is that the right thing to do? Does that really solve the problem? Or is that tendency with these energies to overspend, overdo, overindulge, overimbibe, create more problems, right? Maybe it satisfies the moment, but the next moment we might be ruining the day, correct? And that is complicated on Friday by Venus also being in an opposition to Uranus, right? If Venus and the moon are coming together or the moon coming into a conjunction with Uranus, Venus will be in an opposition to Uranus. So we have impulsive behaviors that we have to watch for. Impulsive buying, impulsive doing, impulsivity in our relationships, where we get into relationships or out of them, or we say or do things that are unexpected. We may experience or want an unexpected change in direction. We're feeling that restless energy with Uranus involved here. We want that excitement. We want change. We're tired of the way things have been. So this, while it's a good energy for adventure or for change, changing up the day, it can be an energy that pulls us down into the wrong places, making choices reactively instead of in response, right? So we may be pulled in two directions, where we have Taurus energy, the comfort of home, the sensuality, the smells, the sights, the sounds, the feelings that are evoked over holidays, versus our need for adventure and for freedom and for letting all of these, these restrictions go. So we have, an issue that we're going to have to somehow come to the middle ground with over this particular weekend. Don't start a new financial venture during this period of time, because it could be initially good, right? It might sound really good and you may make, a good profit, at least in the beginning, but it's going to quickly fizzle because Venus in an opposition to Uranus will pass in a few days, right? And what looked really awesome at the beginning suddenly doesn't look so good when you shine reality on it. This is rebellious energy. Uranus is the rebel. He triggers that need for liberation within us. And we need to be able to seek outlets for that rebellious, that crazy, adventurous spirit energy. So seek outlets for that energy that are appropriate, right? Maybe some kind of creative or artistic project. Maybe it's time to, redecorate for Christmas, and you can put your energy into doing things like that. Whatever it is, maybe exercise, doing something completely, getting some physical energy blown off. Now, we also have Mercury that day on Friday in a sextile to Pluto. Now, Mercury rules the mind and our communication, Pluto transformations on a deep level. So the possibility is that we can maybe spend our time in some contemplation, looking deeper into our issues, like what is it that's really nagging at us? Mercury is in Scorpio, which puts him in Pluto's realm. So the possibility is that we have messages coming up in our dreams, awarenesses coming from nowhere, seeming nowhere, that are delivered to us from the depths. Maybe it's a person that delivers that message. Maybe it's a dream. Maybe it's something that you read. But whatever it is, be willing to look below the surface to see down deep, using a probing mind, which we have graced with us right now because of Mercury in Scorpio, to look for psychological breakthroughs or processing of your own issue, whatever that might be that had come up. So we have two kind of major things going on Friday that might be vying for our attention and creating tension or anxiety for each of us, depending on how this plays out in your own chart. So you're looking for where Scorpio is in your chart. You're looking for Capricorn in your chart. You're looking for Taurus in your chart. And of course, Venus and Mercury both in Scorpio. So Scorpio, Capricorn, and Taurus energy. Now, over the weekend, we have some fun stuff that actually plays into continuing the theme from Friday, right? Where Venus, the impulsiveness, the need for freedom or wanting liberation, that is Neptune turning direct. Now, Neptune went retrograde in June. And when Neptune turns retrograde. It moves us into an internal process of connecting to spirit or connecting to our intuition, connecting more to our heart, to our souls, right? Neptune represents unconditional love, and all of that energy of the spirit was turned inward. And now Neptune will be changing direction on Saturday. Anytime a planet changes direction that day or so, right around that becomes the most intense energy of that change. So now there may be things in our outer world that test our newfound inner spirituality, right? Our newfound inner way of being, our new way of being response able and not reactive. Neptune, of course, changing directions, calling us back to express the inner in the outer world. So remember that you've learned you're intuitive. Remember that you've learned that love is the only real energy out there is love. And everything else out there that we think of as fear or anger or upset are when we've forgotten love energy. So we may be tested over the weekend with that Neptunian energy. But we also have some really good news coming in on the weekend with Mercury in a sextile to Jupiter. If he was in a sextile the day before with Pluto, he's moving on to sextile Jupiter. And then as we move into the weekend, later into the weekend, he will be in the sextile with Saturn. In fact, I don't think that actually happens until Monday, the 30th. And that will be the day of the eclipse. So we have some more serious types of energy that will come up as we move through Sunday and into Monday. But we'll be together on Monday to be able to talk about that. But Mercury in a sextile to Jupiter helps us to speak to our dreams, our goals, and our ambitions. Remember back here on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day in the USA, we had a square by the moon to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, helping us to reform our ideas of goals and ambitions, kind of prompting us to want to take steps. Now we have the more optimistic connection from Mercury to Jupiter that are also helping to get our ideas off the ground, putting some wings, as it were, onto those ideas, and being able to seek forward motion now on those goals and dreams. The moon on Saturday and Sunday will be in Taurus the whole time. So we have stability, the simple pleasures of life, the sensuality of being in the physical body. So being more connected to Venus energy, because Taurus rules Venus, or Venus rules Taurus. I said that totally backwards. And so for all intents and purposes, if we can keep ourselves sort of in check over these next 4 days, then we have a real good weekend. If you somehow get out of control, start overspending, over imbibing, overindulging, and getting, caught up into divisive arguments and things like that, then it can be a real problematic weekend. But the high side is that we have 4 days where we can remember the truth of who we are, and we can test our spirituality, our truths out there in the real world. Now, while you are in control of your own reactions and how you say what you say or do what you do, you are not in control of how everybody else reacts to that newfound spirituality that you have, or the new way that you might be working with people or talking with people out there. So remember, they may be a little shocked by that new change in you. They may go, at least initially, be put off or step back and go, what the heck is going on here? So we want to make sure that, again, they may become triggers to another level of reactivity in you. So remember, stay to your heart, listen to your inner authority, stay in your intuition. Don't lose it all because Neptune went forward, right? Don't let all that go. Now we also move into a new human design week as we get into Saturday, this 28th, which is Saturday. And without Asa here this morning, I didn't have the graphic pulled up, but we are moving the sun from the gates 3420, where we've been sort of the manifesting generators of the last few days. I've been trying really hard not to get caught up in that energy where I'm not like going off in 10 different directions. I have not been all that very successful in it though, because I've had so many demands on my time these last few days. That energy has served me, but I am feeling the wear and tear around the edges. I hope you guys are not feeling that same energy, but if you are, then there is some respite coming. As the human design week shifts, we move the sun into the gate 9 and the earth into the gate 16. These are energies that connect up, but they don't connect up through a channel as the 3420 did, but they bring us enthusiasm, right? The earth is triggering some good feeling that we want to express. The gate 9 is an interesting gate. It's the gate of focus. And what are we focusing our energy on? I think that will be the trigger for us. The weekend itself is, what are we spending the time focusing on? Are we focused on the negative? Are we focused on the positive? Are we focused on our devices so that we don't have to be engaged in the real world? What is it that you are spending your focus time on? In fact, you know what? I have that. I have that. I can share that. Hold on 1 minute. Let me pull it up. That graphic. Because I accidentally, week 6, there we go. I accidentally started to send it out a week, like I totally skipped week 5. So let's take a look at this while we can. The first thing you're going to notice is the new background. I'm letting the dragonfly go for the moment and adopting a new human design chart that Asa developed for me. Isn't it beautiful? She's such a great artist. I love it. And here is the new background. I know it doesn't look quite right at the moment because it's filling a background, but week 6, focus and enthusiasm take us to the promised land. What does that mean? How do we get there? The sun at the gate 9 is the gate of focus, and it is about fulfilling our potential through detailed attention. Or is it the inability for us to sit still long enough to focus on what it is we need in order to get where we need to go? That is the problem, and that can feel a little like ADD, attention deficit disorder, where we feel like when we have our phones or our devices, we can really focus on the news or on playing a game or social media. But then if we needed to focus on something like a conversation with someone or a job that we need to do or some work that we need to get done, we can find that we have the focus, but not really the concentration, which would be the other end. So we may find ourselves in the shadow energy of inertia, which is really, not being able to take that focus and concentration and move it forward in whatever project we might be doing. The gift in this particular or gate is determination, right? I'm determined to move forward. And Siddhi, invincibility. Isn't that awesome? Invincibility. I can do anything. I'm a superhero. And dang it, I can do whatever I want, right? All I need to do is put my mind and my heart in focus together with my emotional field and stay open to what the universe presents me as the opportunity to move forward. The earth will be at the gate 16, which is enthusiasm. It's on the throat center. It's right up here, gate 16. Oh, this is the bad graphic. Never mind. Yes, it is right here. Sorry, the throat wasn't the problem here. And did I fix this? No, I did not fix this. So this is the gate 16. It's on the throat and it moves down toward the spleen. So if you are someone who has the gate 48 and it's defined or hanging, then suddenly the earth will connect here and now you'll be on your way to mastery, right? But enthusiasm itself isn't enough for mastery. Focused practice is required. I often think of this gate and this whole, this time of the year as a time for us to put our money where our mouth is, so to speak, or to put our best foot forward, really taking what we've learned and demonstrating that we can master it. And expect, problems. Expect that you might make mistakes, but to not take what you know and put it out into the world can only be a problem because the gate 48, if it connects up to that, is the gate of the fear of inadequacy. And yet everybody has to take what they've learned in the inner and express it to the outer world. So becoming the resident, if you're, studying to be a doctor, you can't just stay in the classroom all the time. You have to actually get out and work on real bodies, right? And risk that you might make some mistakes along the way. So this energy will be really good for creating a pathway to mastery. It is versatile energy in the gift, being able to be adaptable and have many different tools in your tool belt that can help you get to where you want. The shadow is indifference, where it just doesn't matter, right? So that's our new human design week. I forgot I need to go back, back over here and take a look at comments. Thank you, JLo. She says, please take a moment, hit the thumbs up button. If you are new here and you have not yet done so, please subscribe. You can do that below the video. There's even a little bell where you can click to receive notifications on when I come live. And also, feel free to share the video with your friends. There are many sharing options, sharing on Twitter, sharing on, the only option they don't have is to share on Instagram. And that's probably because Instagram does things differently, but you can share to Facebook. So please do that and spread the word. I would love that. Tammy, how can I get the Energy Almanac for 2021? I was not involved in the Energy Almanac for 2021, with the exception of I fully support the work that Tam has put into it. I'm not sure who the astrologer is that she had chosen as my replacement, and that was by my choice. I didn't have the ability to do it last year. And so you can still get it by going to just doing a Google search for Energy Almanac, and you can find the site where you can buy that. And I will be putting it on my website, updating that this next few days. So you can also wait and go to the website and order it from there as well. Puffing Pixie, good morning to you. It's good to see you. Christine wants to know what a diamond painting is. Oh, it was my found, actually my daughter is the one who started it, in our family anyway. Diamond paintings are like painting by numbers. So it's kind of a cross between cross stitching and painting by numbers, where you have these little faceted diamonds. They're little facets, reflect the light back at you. So when it's done, the painting kind of comes to life. And you have a little like thing that's almost like a pen, and the little faceted diamond fits there, and you poke it and stick it to the picture. It's kind of cheater painting, right? Some of you who are artists and can paint beautifully probably wouldn't like this. But if you're like me and you like the idea of being creative and doing something fun, diamond paintings are for you. You go to Amazon and just do a search for diamond paintings. You will see how wonderful they are and how colorful, and especially coming up with this focus energy. What it helps me do when my mind goes crazy and I'm spinning off in umpteen directions, it helps me to focus, right? Because it's very mindful, and you have to focus on where you're putting that diamond and on what color you're meant to be doing that with. So that's what that is, Christine. And J-Lo says, yes, that's how I've been trying to heal myself since 2016. What were we talking about? Probably Chiron, right? And also having learned ways to use the word in an everyday aspect. Augustina, I didn't know about Chiron. That's my dream, and I believe my purpose is as a holistic healer. Woohoo! That is awesome. Loving light. Hello, Andy. Snowy Quebec. Big love to you, Janet. Big love back to you, Andy. Enjoy the snow. I don't think we're going to get snow this year. I don't know. We haven't even gotten down to a freezing degree yet. Just kind of keeps hovering around 35, 40 degrees. I know in Quebec, you're not used to that. But for us here, we usually by now we've had some kind of hard freeze or ice. Haven't seen that yet. Loanne, good morning to you. J-Lo says, sounds like me at times thinking I'm nuts. Loving Light says bungee jumping, done that. Kathleen Mallory, I wish a beautiful, loving time for everyone. I love this beautiful community. I value you. We value you as well, Kathleen. Thank you for being here with us. And Mimi, love the background. The colors are amazing. Oh, on the graphic, right? Aren't they beautiful? It just is so much more me than the more hard-edged human design charts that I have at my fingertips right now. And now I'll be able to share graphics in with those beautiful colors. There's even a more stripped down version that doesn't have all the background so that you can see just the chart. So I'm going to be sharing those more frequently as well. Okay. Yeah, it does, Christine. It's fun. I love it. They're great. They make great gifts, right? I just take them when I'm done down to my local Michael's and or craft store and have them frame them up for me. And it's very inexpensive, really, in the grand scheme of things to do that. And they're just so beautiful when they're done. I have like 4 or 5 of them ready for framing, that ones that I did back in March and April when things were really slow. And then I still have 4 or 5 more to do, but I just can't seem to find the time to do it. The other complication I have is that Kitty likes to get on my lap when I go sit down to do these things, and I can't have her on my lap and do that at the same time. So it's Kitty's on my bed sleeping. I'm going to go run and do my diamond painting. It's too funny. All right, now let's see, 8:51. Let's do, I'm torn here because there's a very big eclipse coming up on Sunday. And I didn't prepare to talk about that this morning because there were so many other things to talk about. And this afternoon, I am going to be on Angel Heart Radio with Annette McCoy, my monthly chat with her. So if you want to hear about the eclipse, the full moon lunar eclipse that in my time zone occurs on the 30th, but the eclipse itself starts on the 29th in my time zone, moves through to Monday the 30th, and the eclipse completes on Monday. So we have this full moon energy, this eclipse energy with some powerful transits in place during that. And I will be chatting with Annette McCoy about that at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That will be 6 p.m. for those of you on the East Coast. And the way you connect with that is you go to Angel Heart Radio on Facebook. So they have a Facebook page, and we broadcast live to that Facebook page. So you can be there live with us and ask questions and interact with us. Or you can go back later and the broadcast will still be there as a recording. So join us live or listen to the recording maybe sometime over the weekend. But it will be about the eclipse and what's coming, the major things coming up for December, which include another eclipse, a solar eclipse at across Sagittarius and Gemini, and as well the momentous Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and hopefully we'll find time to talk about that as well. So that'll be at 3 o'clock this afternoon. What I would like to do now is maybe, let's see, what time do I say I have? 7 minutes maybe, to do a couple of card readings. So I will take the first 3 people who ask for a card reading and do some oracles for us. And of course, I've got all of the wonderful cards, the animals, the Woto, galactic cards, Mayan, angels. The only ones I don't have right now are fairies, interestingly enough. So who would like a reading? And let me know. And I'm also, right now, while I'm waiting for the first 3 people to say, Debbie Tibbetts, Tubiel, I see yours. DTT. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for the other 2 people to show up, I'm going to do an animal card for us for the long weekend here in the US, or for the rest of you in other countries, the long pause between broadcasts. And Tammy Smith, got yours. And Christine, indeed, card for everyone. And Loanne. Okay, so Loanne, gotcha. And there's our 3. So let's do an animal card for the collective, for everyone, to get us through these next few days. Gosh, I can tell I haven't touched the cards in a couple days. A week. So the last time I pulled an animal card, we got eagle. Now we have hawk. Hawk spirit says, let spirit be your guide. It is card number 32, which is a 5. And hold on, I got to get back to Zoom here. Oh, you know what I just realized? Did I share my, yeah, I stopped sharing. Okay, good. So hawk spirit, and he was right side up, card number 32. He's a beauty. And let's see what we have with hawk spirit. Usually he's the messenger, right? Here it is. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain and the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When hawk spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities, the meaningful coincidences. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending to guide you. Lately, have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in the strangest places? Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When hawk spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. Woo, that validates everything I think that we talked about this morning. All right, so we had Debbie Tippett's 2-meal. Debbie, did you have a preference on what card deck you would like? She just says, me please, Jamie please, do me please. Okay, so what I think I will do here is grab the first one that jumped out at me as I looked over, and that was the Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron-Reid. And this is actually a really beautiful deck that I don't think I've used as often as I wanted to. So let's see, Debbie, what kind of energy card or message is coming up for you here, shall we? And whoa, we have a flipper. Great big love. Card 26. Love it. Great big love. And it came out upright. I'm not sure if this deck does uprights, and yeah, it doesn't, but there we go. Card 26, which is an 8. I love it. Remember, the 8 is my favorite number. Why? Because of the heart-to-heart connection, right? The heart-to-heart, the spirit-to-heart connection. So let's see what this means for you, Deb. 26. And it says the key concepts are love without conditions, romantic love, and how that experience changes you, deep and profound harmonious connections, soulmates. Ooh, love this already. Love heals all wounds, begins all life. It sustains you when you are starving for grace, when you stumble and fall, and when you lose sight of your purpose and fall prey to the limited perspective of the ego. Now is the time to fall in love and call in the awareness of the great big love that made you, which is ever pulsing through your veins. There's a heightened sense of awareness in the beginning stages of a relationship when nothing else matters but who is in front of you. You see them, you see yourself in them, and you move in sync with the cadence of your hearts. You surrender to the magic you share and engage in a harmonious dance that is seamless in its movements, rising and falling with each moment, each breath. Although this card may portend such an intimate connection, you don't have to wait for a partner to experience it. You're being invited now to explore love in all its beauty. Can you love without conditions, without needing things to be perfect? Do you love your life, what you do, and how you contribute to the world? Today, invite love with a capital L into your inquiry. You will be amazed, and your very question may be changed as a result. Love is the strength you need today, the lens you must look through to find the truth and your way. Love is the way. the only way, and the only answer. Great reminder for all of us, Debbie. Thank you for standing in for us all as that reminder of love energy. All right, so got Debbie. Tammy. Now, Tammy, you're fairly new to us and probably don't know all the different choices of decks that we have. So what I think I will do is pull you a goddess card, right? Goddess energy. Let's do that. I love this deck too. And this deck's cards come out in either an empowerment mode, which is when they're upright, or in an alignment mode, which is when they are upside down. So Tammy, this one will be for you. Dang it, yours are flipping out too. Ooh, she's a good one. Athena, knowledge, right? Athena with her owl on her shoulder. It's card number 5, card of empowered freedom. And Athena also represents knowledge. And she was upright, which is an empowerment message. So let's see what she has for us. I really love this card. Take a look at that. Can you guys see how beautiful the colors are? The look on her face, her eyes, the owl, just beautiful. Okay, so number 5. Athena, the Greek goddess of intellect and strategy, says, knowledge is power, and you are in a perfect position to gain greater clarity at this time. Your hard work is paying off, and everything you have learned about life has brought you to this moment in time. Your knowledge, logical choices, and intentions are aligned with divine will. Your intellect is keen, and your mind is clear. You know what you have to do. Right now, the world is making sense. You don't have to question or debate it. You can take things at face value. If you think it adds up, that's because it does. Hence, have courage, my love. Your most precious dreams are within reach. The goddess Athena will help. Great, great, great. And let's see, after her was Loanne. Loanne, did you have a choice of card? Let me take a look here. You're welcome, Debbie, and happy Thanksgiving to you. Loanne says, my choice. Tammy Smith, I love owls, so it was a perfect card for you, Tammy. Loanne. I'm sort of sensing an angel or not an angel. I said angel, but I picked up the galactic heritage. So perhaps it's galactic heritage, and on some unconscious level, that is what happened here. That's too funny. Okay, no, these cards are going to fly all over the place. There we go. All right, Loanne. So a galactic heritage card. Remember, these are the cards that talk about our star brothers and sisters from other times and other places. And they give us some pretty profound knowledge. I also saw a couple other people that may want, new people that I haven't done card readings for. Who was that? Coach Mike. I think you must be new here too. I think I've seen you out there, but I will hold on and do a card for you as well, Coach Mike. How's that? Okay. So this alchemy, Loanne, alchemy. I love it. And it is Essasani. Don't know about that star system. This is a new one for all of us. So you're showing us a new pathway opening up here to alchemy, Essasani, the parallel universe. So it's a very colorful card for sure. So let's take a look. I'm anxious to read this one. It's not one we've had before. So here you go, Loanne. Reality is created through our conscious and unconscious thoughts, emotions, and intents. When they are aligned, we become the reality that we prefer as long as we are following our excitement, which represents the natural flow of the universe. This essential Essasani teaching is a process of alchemy, but it means that we must look at our self-sabotaging behaviors and confront our shadows, knowing ourselves fully. Only then can we come into full alignment with our true selves. This card means that it's time for you to take this step. Clean up unfinished business, be free, and embrace synchronicity. The commentary here is the Essasani species is a hybrid of human and Zeta and is considered to be a highly evolved species assisting Earth through its transition. Deep within the Essassani collective memory lie the healed lessons of the Zeta, Orion, and human species. Because these lessons were fully integrated, the outcome is a species of pristine consciousness, capable of non-polarized thought and a catalyzing energy that propels others forward into their own processes of integration. Alchemy is the process of using two seemingly opposite forces and bringing them together for profound transformation, nearly magical in nature. This card also connects to the past lessons from the Orion that were successfully integrated. If you've pulled this card, its meaning can vary. A likely interpretation that there has been, or will be, or needs to be, a shift in your life circumstances that comes in an unexpected way. Our minds often think change is predictable and happens according to a linear model, which is A plus B plus C. But everything we experience is the result of an alchemical process, an energetic mix of our thoughts, belief patterns, emotions, resistances, and so on. All of these variables create a powerful energetic soup that propels our trajectory. The Essassani are experts in harnessing these alchemical processes and shifting the trajectory toward awakening. Now, it is essential to do the inner work necessary to understand the forces that affect how your reality is created. See yourself clearly, including your self-defeating habits and patterns, as a way to free yourself from limitation and illusion. Wow, alchemy. And think about it this way, Loanne, if you're also a generator in the quantum human design language, you are an alchemist, if that's true for you, right? Alchemy and the alchemist. All right, so now, Coach Mike, I'm kind of still feeling the need to pull a galactic heritage card unless you have a specific choice that you want me to pull, which I don't know how you'd know what they are because you're new. So we're going to go with my gut, which says you need a galactic heritage card as well. So this is for Coach Mike. And oh, they wanted to fall out here. Beyond Wisdom. Ooh. So card number 1, I don't think we've ever had this one either. Card 1 says Beyond Wisdom. It's called the Founder's card in a parallel universe. So Beyond Wisdom, card 1. A new beginning, perhaps, right? In lockstep with our one energy today of one intuiting in the Pleiadian star system, which are cards that are also a part of this. So let's look and see what we find. Okay. Have some water. Okay, first off, founders. Founders represent the abiding awareness, the one consciousness that spans time and space. This consciousness is aware of its simultaneous existence as both the whole and its separate parts. It created an illusion of fragmentation so that we could have individual lifetimes, but its wholeness still abides and is ultimately the consciousness that sees through the eyes of every living soul. This is your true self. Some call it God. Because this card points to your true nature, it is the most powerful card of this deck. It cuts through illusion and moves beyond wisdom. It is you, remember. Commentary. Because humans appear to exist in a linear, separate reality, we cannot have a card that truly embodies the energy of the complete wholeness and have the human mind be able to perceive this truth. If it were to be represented in this deck, it would have to be card number 0. This card, number 1, holds the energy of our initial fragmentation from the source. This first fragmentation, looking at it from a linear perspective, created many subgroups of wise beings manifesting as group consciousness systems who act as the architects of our journey through polarity and back into wholeness. They maintain the memory of being whole and separate at the same time and guide us through this journey. They are a manifestation of the great hologram of creation that contains all things and potentials. This is why the theme is Beyond Wisdom. What they offer us has little to do with intellectual knowledge or even what is called wisdom. They represent us in our integrated state and help us maintain the memory of our true state of existence as one being throughout all creation, manifesting as both separate and unified simultaneously. This consciousness Germain, the consciousness Germain, who channeled this card system to Lissa, represents this group consciousness. If this card appears, it is a reminder of your true nature and a suggestion to never get distracted by the chaos or intensity of the physical existence. Let yourself feel the connection with Source in a way that goes beyond intellect. As this connection grows stronger within you, it can serve as a guiding force in your life. Trust that experience. Woo! Woo! We have powerful, powerful cards coming up this morning. I hope everybody is feeling that as I am feeling that. Let me go back and see if there are any questions. Loanne says, I am a generator. So you are an alchemist. There you go. Kathleen Mallory, so happy to have this time together. Thank you. What a card. Great. I love it when everybody is excited by their cards. And, for all of you, even if it wasn't your card, these cards hold meaning because we are all linked together here, right? We are all in consciousness together. And so these cards may have meanings for you as individual as well, even if it wasn't your personal card. All right, everybody. So let me just take this moment to tell you how much gratitude I have for all of you being here in this community, helping me to build this outreach to the world to show everybody love and what community means and healing where healing needs to take place and overall loving one another. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are in the USA. For everyone, I love you all. I'm in such gratitude and thankful for your presence in my life, for all the lessons that we learned together. Have a great weekend. I will see you all later today if you choose to join me on Angel Heart Radio and on Monday if you don't make that. All right, guys.